r/AskReddit by routinereddit. What stupid thing did you spend tons of money on? Encyclopedias. The lady was just so convincing, and my husband swore I'd use them for my classroom. Maybe use them once in a year. Buy $500 edit. I bought them last summer. I grew up using encyclopedias, but I bought a set of Ask Me's last summer from a girl from Europe. What year was this? Wait, they can look this up. Types on Google where to find best encyclopedias. Try Wikipedia. Maybe you can find where to get the best encyclopedias there. I bought an 450 Australian dollars bong, then stopped smoking weed. $300 vape, nicotine, not weed vape, sitting in the dresser for a few years now. LuLaRoe, F that company. They're also so deceiving. Luckily they aren't in my area, but from what I've seen, they show you all these nice designs that you could be selling, but when you actually join them, they stick you with a bunch of cheap, ugly crap. A bunch of cheap ugly crap you have to buy without actually seeing it first, and you have to pay upfront cash for. Any non-scam sales company would give you a catalog and some samples, and have your customers order directly from the company. LuLaRoe has the suckers they scammed by the product first, then have them make up their losses, and get their pay by selling their stock. Their entire business model is to scam the heck out of their independent fashion retailers. Their words, not mine. It never was about selling clothes. I spent $400 on a cowbell, signed by Will Ferrell. To be fair, it doubled as a donation to charity. Still, regret. Needs more cowbell. Leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell for daily Reddit videos. 2 gallons of Dippin' Dots for $100. For about 5 people. Lol, where do you even buy Dippin' Dots in bulk? At the Dippin' Depot. Doug Dippendome's Dippin' Dot Depot. Wait. Are you Doug Dippendome? Owner of the Dimsdale Dippin' Dots Dippendome? Went to a different city to meet a girl I met on internet, booked flight tickets and hotels on advance for 3 days. She didn't turn up. This is one of the biggest regrets of my life. It could have been worse. She could have showed up and been an absolute train wreck. Or stole a kidney. Or been a serial killer. Or a guy. Textbooks that the prof never used despite being required. Did you ever read the textbooks though? I didn't have time to read the textbooks while I was studying undergrad. After studying, I picked them up and read them. It had everything I needed, explained everything I didn't understand. Didn't make that mistake again in my grad and postgrad studies. Also, using the library instead of buying books works wonders. I had a prof that once told us, the best notes that you can take in class are still gonna be worse than the worst textbook. Truer words haven't been spoken. Emo. I spent £30 on Shaq Fu for the Mega Drive when I was a kid and still regret it. Saving that much took me months. If you make a review of it on YouTube, you'll probably make the money back. You're forgetting age inflation. Spending £30 as a child is the equivalent of spending £1 million as an adult. I spent $350 on a box that makes my amplifier less loud. Please explain. The idea is using a power attenuator or power soak to clean the desirable distortion and tone made when the guitar amp is turned up to 11, while outputting a far less deafening sound pressure level. World of Warcraft. Was legit addicted to it for a long time. Completely ignored and dropped out of my first year of college in favor of working part-time and playing WoW for about 10 to 12 hours per day. Finally broke the habit after about 6 total years of playing. Now, 7 years after quitting, I still feel the urge to go back to it sometimes. Shit is crazy addicting. And no, I didn't really enjoy it and don't consider it worth it. I'm a completionist. At a certain point it became work and not really play anymore. It still occasionally bugs me that there are achievements/mounts that I never got. The need to try and get everything was what kept me playing. Edit. All 500 people that told me I should come back to play Classic. You're all terrible people. Edit 2. Yeah, it's not technically a ton of money, but I also dropped out of college and finally went back like 7 years later. I look at it as a 7-year delay on my career since I work in it, which is what I was planning originally anyway. 7 extra years of experience equates to a lot of extra money. Ugh, I feel this. Luckily, my addiction reached its peak in high school, so I had time to figure out my shit. I would call off work for 8 nights and have friends over who would watch me play because I didn't want to stop and hang out. It was bad. I still played in college, but luckily it never made me drop out. But the money I've spent over the years for just a subscription plus faction/server changes, etc. is staggering. But even worse is typing/played and seeing how much time I've wasted. You know the funny feeling you get when /played gives you a number of days played higher than 365. That's what made me quit. Knowing that an entire year of my time was wasted on a game I'll probably never play again. And now Classic is making me want to start playing again FML. I spent $200 at Disneyland on a bubble shooting gun and about $180 on bubbles. Wait, $380 total, or $20 on a gun and $180 on bubbles? $200 at Disneyland, $180 elsewhere I guess. I think Bubbles was the escort's name. Ding ding ding. Interest. When I was young and stupid I bought a car I couldn't afford. Put bills on credit cards when I lived beyond my means because I grew up poor and was never taught how to budget properly. 5 years ago I paid that car off, still drive it to this day and plan on driving it until it dies on me. Consolidated my CCs into a low interest loan with automatic payments 28 more months and I'll be debt free. It took me far too long to understand how to budget and use my money properly. Luckily, I didn't dig myself a hole I couldn't get out of, but learning about the concept of deferred interest after the intro period the hard way made me pretty mad at myself. Warhammer figurines. The game was okay, but it took me far too long and far too many purchases to remember that I don't like painting. We should be friends. I love the painting, but have no interest in playing Edit. Did not expect this to gain so much traction. Sorry, guys, I have a full-time job, and I'm taking classes in my free time. I don't have time to paint your figures. I appreciate the interest. My marriage, $15k wedding, $60k in debt, $341 for the divorce. At least your divorce was comparatively cheap. That's because he had no money. Magic the Gathering. Sitting here looking at my 4 legacy decks and 3 modern decks. I don't have the problem you do. Maybe someday, but for now my collection is just in boxes in the den. Between work and kids, who has time? A Snoop Dogg concert. Snoop was so messed up on something that he didn't sing a single word. Someone stood behind a podium with a MacBook and played old Snoop songs over the PA. Snoop hobbled around on stage and threw joints from a bag at the same people in the front row over and over again. Every now and then he would wobble over to the mic and yell something like a hype man like "Yaha, that's right," etc. Still feel betrayed to this day and get irrationally upset when the Reddit Hivermind praises Snoop Dogg on a daily basis. Ozzy 1982 Aish, too wasted to sing. Randy Rhoads played 45-minute guitar solo about while they had Ozzy backstage trying to sober him up. Maybe a 45 minutes Randy Rhoads solo would be worth going for a lol. This happened to me with Pearl Jam. He was so drunk he was rolling around on the stage floor wasted. It took me a good 10 years to forgive them. In college, my then BF took his sister to a Pearl Jam concert in the mid-90s, and it was a shit show because Eddie was so drunk. Fans actually sued him for being so bad. My stepdad saw Stone Temple Pilots and there was a couch on the stage. Scott Weiland saw his opportunity and sat down on that couch and never got up once. sang a little at the beginning, then started nodding off, while maybe singing a word here and there, then just went ahead and fell asleep. You've got to be pretty messed up to fall asleep on a stage in front of a crowd. Well, he was a heroin addict, so that might have helped. Heroin PM. Going out to eat. I always budget like $400 for food a month, and it actually ends up being like $900 because of how much to eat out. Yeah, I also spend ludicrous amounts of money on food because I don't like to cook. I'm trying to switch to easy to prep meals, but eating out is so much easier. And you know what is easier and more expensive than all of that? Delivery. Bath bombs. It's literally money down the drain. Lush is evil. You'd be a block away and smell it. Which turns into yes, $5 is a reasonable price to spend per bath. The secret is to break the bath bombs into smaller pieces. It still works, and they last a lot longer. The last one stained my bath bright pink. The husband was not happy with me,